A weird thing is that I know I have the option of manipulating people because none of this matters, but at the same time, in a human sense, I want to show people in a human way how one day, whatever we want, we could be doing. Like, what do people want? Do people want a structured life of businesses and buildings? Or do they want a life where we can fly and heal ourselves and live forever in whatever shaped body we want? Do we want that? Or do we not? I mean, it's one of those things where people are sort of just picking to stick with the current model of life living, and it's our choice to do that. I mean, I can go do anything I want, anytime. Like, when I'm around people, I don't want to look weird. That's the only reason I don't do it when I'm around people. And if other people around me were doing the same thing, it wouldn't seem weird at all, because it's what we could really all do. And the more people that do the same thing, the reality changes when more people believe it is. I know it sounds pretty simple to say it like that, but that's really all it is. Like, reality does change all the time. You don't have to eat healthy. You don't have to do all that other stuff, but in a human body, maybe you do, but we believed it that way. So, like, I'm going to not go eating unhealthy and being like a slob or doing anything wrong, because I want to help people in the best way possible. And some things are true to the human body because we've made it that way somehow. Who am I to be powerful enough to change all beliefs from the beginning of time till now? I'm not that strong yet. I'm not saying yet, but I don't want to change anybody. So it's free will. So that's the whole thing. Now that I realize all this stuff, I know what it all means. Like, I'm not going to interfere with another human being by saying you have to do this. But I mean, maybe we can introduce, like, maybe say the idea of what a near-death experience is to kids at a younger age. Not scary, because you realize that there's nothing scary. We're just here to experience this. But if everyone was playing a video game that they played 1 billion times, that they knew every nook and cranny, they knew every possible outcome, would they keep playing the video game? No, they'd be bored with it. So there's so many millions and billions and trillions and gagillions of things in the world, so that you can never experience every single one of them in a allotted time frame. You can't experience everything, because we sort of made that universal law. Like, we never said a human body has to die at a certain age. It's just people die at a certain age because that's what we think. People get sick of being alive. They don't want to do this anymore. I want to retire. I don't want to do this anymore. Well, guess what? I want to do this. I don't want to retire, ever. I want to be alive. You don't have to work a job. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Don't let people push you around. And that means everybody, from here to there to the government. I mean, the worst they're going to do is come and shoot you and you'll come back again. That's it. I know that sounds really petty and really, like, vague and almost like I don't care about people, but I do. I just don't want to see people doing things they hate doing because they think the government is so powerful. And I don't dislike the government. They're part of what's going on because they have to be. They worked so hard to get there. So if they surrendered it and gave up their illusion of power, who would they be in this human existence? And some of them have. Some people that are in the government, involved in government stuff, have backed down because they realize it doesn't mean anything. Nothing means anything, and they're sick of playing the whole illusion of power. But I don't know, I got to do another stop, so I got to stop recording because I have to play Dan again. See, I'm getting crazy again. I'm talking about not being Dan, but see, when that kind of stuff happens and I have a major separation of myself and I channel again, like, I totally remind myself that I am just playing Dan. And, like, I had to last time, basically what I did is I reminded myself that I'm Dan so much that I almost lost track of what's really going on, if that makes any sense. But, like, this time, I reminded myself to I reminded myself to stay in my human body before I astral projected and realized that I'm astral injecting all along every time. If that makes any sense to somebody, they'll know what I mean. And of course, that's what making sense means, but there's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. People who are enlightened, who say the word enlightened, there's so much more to the word enlightenment. I believe that I'm one of the only people who's ever experienced this in this human sense. That actually has been able to put it into words for people. Like, some people get caught up in like, my friends, they're into paranormal and stuff like that, but that's just an idea we created too. So yeah, it's all there, but I choose not to pursue it because it doesn't fascinate me. Because Wow, cool. I can scare myself. Why do we watch horror movies? Because people say they watch horror movies because they like being scared. No, they don't. You know what I mean? Think about it. They watch horror movies because they're safe and know that nothing's really going to happen. They're safe. That's what it is. It's a sense of security. It reassures them that they're security. That they can be scared and they're going to be all right. Well, if people like being scared, well, then they would have a mass murderer attack them and barely survive and be cut up and hurt. And that's what scared is. Scared for your life. Scared for your survival. That's what scared is. People don't like being scared. They like being reassured that they're safe. That's it. And what we're doing in this world is when you die is basically... It's only scary because that's the way we prepared ourselves for it. It's not scary. It's just a way to change in for the next time. Or, if you don't want to come back again, you don't have to because you realize what's going on. And this is so awesome. Like, I realize that if I want to, I can just reproject myself back to Dan at 38 and keep living this reality from this spot back over and over again. But I don't want to do that because I've lived moments over and over and over again, and I feel like it. I've told people I felt like I lived 70 years in a day, and people are like, "What do you mean?" Well, I'm like projecting myself. I didn't know I was doing it or how I was doing it, but I was projecting myself into the same time frame from outside, and that sounds really weird because then I get spooked and I'm like, "What's going on?" And then I go back to reality, what we call reality, which isn't reality at all. But anyway, I got to do this stop. See, I don't want to get sidetracked. I want to get done with my day early. Peace. Love ya.